Dentistry and General Radio Network presents
the Independent Dental Practice Podcast with Dr. Sonny Spera. In this episode,
the Independent Dental Practice Podcast, Dr. Sonny Spera. Today, my guest, Dr. AJ Felli. You're going to really love his candor and his ability to communicate his intentions. He's crystal clear. His experience in the Marines and the world experience that he had before college. How do you finish college? 4 years of college in 2 years. He's going to tell you what he did. You're going to love this conversation. This is part one. We're going to do another part. We're going to dive deeper into what his practice looks like. I hope you all enjoy it. If you like it, please click like, share it with your friends, subscribe. If you don't like it, I ask you to please let me know, because we want to put out material and products that are helpful, that help you get yourself to either the next level or help you solve problems that you're seeing, or just inspire you to do greater things. My phone number is 607-624-2962. It's my personal cell. Hit me up anytime. My email is sonnyspera@gmail.com. Sonny with an O. Sonny, Spera @gmail.com. And find us anywhere you find your podcast. I thank you all for listening. Appreciate you giving us a shout out. Thanks again.
Dr. Anthony AJ Felli, From New Graduate to Practice Owner, a discussion with Dr. Sonny Spera, Part 1.
Welcome to the Independent Dental Practice Podcast. Dr. Sonny Spera today, my guest, Dr. Anthony Felli. I met AJ in dental school when he was class president of at that time they were D3s, as I like to call them, juniors, but I know they don't do that anymore. So let me give you a little bit of his background. Impressive guy. I stayed in touch with him. I loved his focus and vision as a third-year dental student. It was something I have not seen in anybody at that point in their career that I've crossed paths with personally. So AJ is a 2023 graduate of the University of Buffalo School of Dental Medicine, completed his residency in the AEGD program at Buffalo also. He joined the Marine Corps in 2003, immediately after high school at 17, as an open contract infantryman. This I did not know. After boot camp at Parris Island and Marine combat training, he attended radio operator school in 29 Palms, California. His duty station was Kaneohe, Marines being deployed to Afghanistan as a mortarman and radio operator, and Iraq as a mobile assault platoon vehicle commander. While waiting to separate from the Marine Corps, he served as communication chief and a marksman coach instructor. After military, he worked until 2017 in various leadership roles within the oil field and oil offshore drilling rigs. At age 30 in 2017, he decided to pursue his passion for becoming a dentist. He has his wife, Alyssa, daughter, Adriana, 3 dogs, and a cat. Time is typically spent in the woods and work in the property. He purchased an existing practice and rebranded it to Westlake Dental in 2024, which is located in Geneva, New York. Okay. Yep. So the question I got to ask you right off the bat.
Sure.
Where did the passion for dentistry come from?
So it really started as just a passion to be a physician of some sort. My time overseas, people go through the ringer, and I had a soft spot in my heart for trying to help people that have gone through some stuff. Unfortunately, my time right after the military wasn't always kind to me. And I came from a very blue-collar working class family where education was not of any importance.
Where's home for you?
Corning. Yeah. Well, technically I grew up about 10 minutes away in a small town called Campbell. Graduating class, I think there was like 68 or 69 of us in my graduating class.
Did you have a dentist that you had an affinity towards?
No, I ate like crap, didn't brush my teeth a lot, got cavities, got some fillings. Dentistry was not crazy important either. Really, it was just working and making some money. So that's what I did right out of the Marine Corps. I went to work. And then that grind quickly gets to you, and then working in the oil field, being gone 7 or 8 months out of the year. Just my wife helped me greatly to just flip the switch and move on. And I didn't go to undergrad at the best college in the country, maybe the world, until I was 30 years old, which is Penn State, by the way, if you didn't get that.
Oh, for crying out loud. Folks, if you're listening to this, right behind him is a picture of the Penn State football stadium, which is impressive. If you've never been there, it is super impressive. I want to ask you, so you talk about working in the oil fields away for 7, 8 months. What does an average work day look like in that job?
So I had a kind of a cushy gig when I was in the oil field. But so say you show up to an oil rig and you've got a setup, it's 2 or 3 full days of truly miserable backbreaking work, setting up all of the different equipment that we used. And then it's 27, 28 days of sitting behind a computer running ditch. So I did, long story short, the earth creates pressure on a well, right? And the fluid in the well creates a hydrostatic pressure, which the pressure from the earth is usually greater than. So I ran a set of choke systems to equalize that pressure so that the wells didn't blow out. Kind of like the Deepwater Horizon
Yeah,
blowouts.
yeah.
I prevented that from happening.
So let
Some
me ask you. So
similarities.
you having a tough day, right? You're
Mhm.
working on a really morbidly heavy person. They have the tongue the size of Africa. You're trying to do 15 DO composite, perio, horrible, bleeding everywhere, and you're like gutting through it. Do you look back on your day when you had to do all that physical, that 2 or 3 days where you said where it was a wicked physical grind? Do you ever look back and say to yourself, I think I'm good where I am? Does it
Oh,
give you perspective, is what I'm
yeah,
saying?
for sure. The worst possible day in dentistry to me is nothing compared to the worst days I've had in the past.
That
Yeah,
includes the battlefield, right?
you include that. Yeah.
Yeah, so folks, I mean, like that's reality, right?
Um, it's such a great profession. So getting into dentistry for me truly was a quality of life decision, right? I had good grades. I have a good background. I have no doubt I could have gone into any medical profession that I wanted, right? I might have been limited on some residencies because maybe I didn't kill it in school or whatever, but I could have gone into whatever direct
Right.
profession I wanted, I'm sure.
You had options open because
And
you
that's
did the work.
where, so my grandfather, who I didn't meet until I was 14, was an orthodontist. So when I'm going through this
Wow.
journey, he's like, you love working with your hands. You're very constructive. I've remodeled some houses that I enjoy the fiddly work with my hands. He's like, you should just go shadow a dental office and see what you think. I was there for an hour and thought, this is what I'm doing.
Nice.
I loved
How
it
old were you?
from 30, 29, 30. This was right when I
Okay.
went to undergrad.
So now I got to ask you, so you went to undergrad at 30?
Yeah.
All right. So what was that like to all of a sudden be in the classroom with these kids that basically are a little bit older than could have been your own kid,
Yeah.
right? And then now getting back to that grind, right? That really focus, put your nose to the grindstone and read and learn and ingest all that stuff. What was that
Yeah,
like?
so I did undergrad in 2 years. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to spend with people and put too much thought into it. I left a full-time job making a lot of money to start this thing. And I was 30, so I want to do it in as little time as possible. Unfortunately, you can't truncate dental school or medical school, so I had to do it in undergrad.
How did you do it?
I took 33 and a half credits a semester at 3 different colleges.
Wait. Let's roll. Let's rewind that tape for a second.
All right.
33 and a half credits a semester at
Yeah.
3 different schools. So that means you were taking 100 credit hours in a semester?
No, that was my total credits split up between 3 schools.
Oh, okay.
So
Holy
I would
Christmas.
go,
My mind was going to explode there for a second.
no. So I would go to
Okay.
Penn State on Tuesdays and Thursdays full time and then do online classes through Penn State half the time. And then at Elmira College, which is
Yeah,
closer,
I know that's
I
right down
did
the street. Yes.
I did all of my lab-based science classes. And
Okay.
then at Corning Community College, I did all of the lab-based science classes that I couldn't get onto the schedule for at Elmira.
Did anybody help you pull this off and coordinate this? Because that's a feat in and of itself.
No, it was all my concoction.
So, folks, talk about problem solving. Dentistry is easy compared to trying to put that freaking schedule together.
Yeah, it was interesting. And then everybody talked about how hard dental school was going to be, which don't get me wrong, dental school was hard. But you'll never see so many credits. And I get there D1 year, it's like, all right, we got 23 credits. Okay.
That's part-time, man. I got to work a full-time job to make this equal.
Yeah, so it was a lot harder for sure, but the time allotments weren't that crazy to me.
It makes perfect sense, right? Listen, I've got a finite amount of time. If I can shrink that, did that reduce your cost? It had to reduce it some. but you're
Yeah,
still
well,
paying
full
for credit
disclosure,
hour.
I was very fortunate. The military paid for my college. I didn't have a whole lot of money invested into my education.
But you lost your income for 2 years.
Did lose my income for 2 years.
And you're
Luckily,
and
my wife does pretty well. She's an optometrist.
so
So
what was that conversation like? You're like, okay, hon, listen, my income's gonna be zero now. Talk about the support needed to do that, to pull that off. Because
yeah,
you don't get that in a vacuum.
she's a rock star. Truly an amazing person. I can sit here as a man and say that if it wasn't for my wife, I would be on an oil rig somewhere for sure. I didn't meet her until funny story, we went to high school together in our tiny school, and I never talked to her once. Didn't know who she was. But that was like me in high school. I wasn't around. I didn't really participate with all the stuff that
They
was
say
going
men mature later, so there's the
on. For
proof.
sure. Yeah, I can honestly, in my heart of hearts, say that if it wasn't for her, this would have never happened. But so I meet her when I'm 29 and we start dating. We get married in 2019, and a week later I left for dental school. So
I'm
I
assuming
through all this honor pretty quickly.
did she come with you?
Oh yeah, not at first. She had a nice practice that she worked at in Elmira. So she stayed there for 8 or 9 months and then ended up coming to Buffalo with me.
Okay. So, but when you did undergrad, you were dating then? You weren't married?
Yeah, we were dating.
Okay.
Yep.
So
In
that
fact, we were dating for 2 months. We were like
so
2 months into our relationship, and I told her I was gonna quit my job, be unemployed, and go to school.
yeah, but it's a pretty clear vision of what you wanted to be. It's not nebulous. You
Yeah,
have a clear path to the point where you not only defined it, you honed it, you sharpened it, you squeezed it, and you tightened it up to probably the fastest you possibly could get a 4-year degree,
for sure. Yeah,
right? What were some of the things that you learned as a leader in the military that you now translate over to your private practice?
everything. Other than the occasional yelling and screaming, I dropped that early on. But other than
That
that, pretty
doesn't work,
much
but yeah,
it,
yeah.
it doesn't work. In the military, it works. Outside of that, you lose people pretty quickly if you're a jerk.
How many
And
people you work with right now?
I have two hygienists, one lady at the front desk, and one assistant.
Okay, so you're working with 4 females?
Yep.
In the military, how many men, how many females we're working with?
I had no females in the military,
So you're on Mars and now you're on Venus, right?
for sure.
So you're transitioning that portion of it. So it's like going from always coaching men's basketball to now coaching women's basketball. Still competitive, but a different communication style. So what are
Yeah.
you doing to work on that part then?
I'm again, thanks to my wife, I was able to laser in on my personality, my sense of humor, and my way that I critique people. I'm a very black and white person. You can pretty much read my emotions on my face at any given time. So it was more of a matter of toning down how I respond to things. It's like when I was teaching at the school, right? I did freshman anatomy, dental anatomy, like wax ups and stuff. And a student would bring me a molar and be like, "Hey, Dr. Felli, can you take a look at this? I think I'm in good shape." And I would just look at him and say, "Do you actually think that you're in good shape?" They would say, "I think so."
I
Like, you
thought
gotta
so. You said that.
go look at a picture of this tooth and tell me if you're in good shape. That's just how I was. And I don't know what else to say. Yeah, it looks good. I can't say that. There was a middle ground where I could still be me without being a total jerk, right?
But as long as you're authentic and you're consistent, I'm telling you, some of the best professors you had in dental school, they were like that.
For sure.
They held your feet to the fire. They didn't care about your feelings.
Do you know Joe DeLuca at the school?
I know the name.
Okay, so he's in charge of dental anatomy in the preclinic lab. I remember when I was at D1, when I was doing the wax ups, I went up to him and I said, "Hey, look, I'm just going to be straight up with you. I'm the type of person where if this sucks, just tell me it sucks, but then immediately tell me how to make it perfect. I don't have time for the sugar coat. I don't want the sugar coat. Just, it's not good. This is how you can make it better." And that's how I was. But that doesn't translate well to the staff.
No.
So trying to be a little more constructive in the initial, not even the criticism, just constructive without letting them down. That's been probably the biggest challenge with my leadership technique, if you will.
But you are a problem solver, right? You're going to modify things for the situation that's going to work best for you,
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
All right, so let's get into it. So when I met AJ, I mean, I remember he's telling me I have a practice lined up and buying a practice. No one ever told me that in dental school. Nobody. especially now with the requirement. Okay, so most of the time I'm meeting third year dental students, right? So in New York, you have to do a year residency. So they're at least 2.5 years removed from real world stuff yet. But as I'm sure you're starting to tell, AJ's pretty clear on what he wants to do and how he's going to get there, his path, and he's going to straighten it as much as he possibly can. And I want to hear more about it because when we spoke, he had a kind of a practice that he was lining up. It was in his area where he grew up, and it's close to the area where his wife is from as well. So he's got some family roots and stuff there. So that sort of made sense. But it always, I said to me, this dude's unique, right? This guy's got something a little bit special. I want to stay in touch with him, and I want to be a resource. I want to help you any way I can. Because when I did this, I went on my own. I didn't have a lot of people. I had a couple of dentists in my dental society community that I look back on now that were tremendous help or mentors. And I was working with two younger docs. I was with them for 2 years. There was a practice that we had basically substituted for him when he had an eye injury, and it was, quote, out in the sticks. And it was 8 miles from our office, 7.6 as a matter of fact. So I said, why don't we buy this? Buy this, and then this is the partnership, and then we do this. And then they were like, we don't want to go out there. So then I was like, you know what? I think I want to row my own boat. And the friend of mine said to me, those guys are great guys, but understand there's a structure and a hierarchy. They have basically a president, a vice president. You're going to come in as a secretary, and you're always going to be in that role. Even though you're going to be on paper a partner, are you going to be able to live with that? I don't think your personality bodes well for that. And man, was he spot on. So he saw something and believed in me, I think even before I did. So then I made the leap, right? Went out to the country, bought the little practice in the basement of a raised ranch, etc. But it took a little bit. Like I didn't come right out and jump right in. I came out, I wanted to learn the business. So you're in dental school and you're already planning to go out and go into practice. What did you do to prepare for the business side of dentistry?
D1 year, right as COVID is about to hit, I was on winter break. So I had one semester done in dental school. And the school handed us out little business cards, right, with our names on it.
Yep.
So I wrote my number down on those business cards and I went to a few different practices in the area and just gave a card and said, hey, looking to move back to the area, looking to get into a practice, give me a call. And I was in my car for 5 minutes and a guy had called and said, hey, are you a dentist? You want to buy a practice? What's going on? So actually, I'm just a fall semester D1 student. I've got some time to go. But not to, so I'll pause there for a second, get to your actual question. Preparing for the business side, I really got a lot of that when I was working in the oil field. I did 2 roles as a logistics manager, one for a company called Alstom, which was not in the oil field. That was my first job out of the military. They make subway cars. And then for Dresser-Rand, making oil field compressors. So I'd had, at the highest at one point, I had 104 people that worked under me. And I was running budgets, running logistics, running day-to-days of a shop. So that type of stuff I just picked up professionally along the way.
Okay, so it's almost like you got a little bit of we'll call it a business practical MBA, right?
Yeah, on the job training for that.
But in the practice of dentistry, the decisions are almost daily. Am I going to participate in this insurance plan? What is my practice going to look like? What's my philosophy of care? Those kind of things. And then how do you implement it? And then the team part probably is going to flow naturally for you because of the other backgrounds that you have in addition to that. How do you develop how you want to practice?
Like from a business standpoint?
Yeah, both, right? Philosophy of care, I think, is number one. And then two, then the business side has to follow.
Yeah. So the business side of it really just comes down to my team. And I hope this doesn't get misconstrued, and I can explain it more if you want, but my biggest number one thing is I care more about staff care than I do patient care. As long as my staff is happy, my staff is content, my staff's not on LinkedIn or whatever job searching site there is every day, as long as they truly feel like they are in their career, I feel like I'm doing my job. And the reason I care more about that than patient care is because if you have that, patient care will follow unless I screw it up, right? If my staff is satisfied, the patient care is going to follow. I spend 15 to 60 minutes with a patient at a time but I never walk them into the waiting room. I never am the one sitting there shooting the breeze with them while they're waiting on me. I'm not the one shooting the breeze with them for an hour while I'm cleaning their teeth. So if the staff is truly happy and satisfied in their position and they love my office and they love me, that's going to flow to the patient and the patient's going to see that. And
Okay,
immediately,
so I'm going to ask you specifically about that now
sure,
because it's obvious you're going to pour into your staff, right?
for sure.
What do you do that is going to set you apart from another dentist who pay is equal, their physical location is simple? What are you doing that makes you create those relationships or those bonds with those people?
So money is not number one. Money is number two, but it's the number one thing that you can implement immediately, right? I can't make you like me immediately. I can't make you trust me immediately, but I can make you financially happy immediately. As soon as I bought that practice, everyone got a pay raise to put them to the average of our area.
So explain that. Explain that to folks. What does that mean? I know what we do here, but what did you do to find the average of your area? Where did you get your data?
Just a little online research. A guy's looking for an assistant. What's the starting pay? Talk to a couple people that I trust, or not even trust, just that I know in the area. And hey, what are you paying your assistant? And I got an average number from that. And on day one, I'm broke as a joke. I have no money. I don't
Right.
even have my first payment from a patient. My lady who works up front, I think she got a $6 an hour pay raise. My hygienist got a $2.50 pay raise. My assistant, she started with me, so she just started out at a rate that was pretty much right around where she was at to begin with. And my promise to them was that after the first year, as long as we're making money, that's you're going to be above average. You will be, if not the highest paid person in our rural area, you'll be pretty damn close. So that
Okay.
was number
Now,
one, because that
when you
was
bought your practice, right? Because remember, folks, right out of residency, buying a practice, okay? When you bought your practice, what was your payroll? Do you remember the numbers? What was your payroll percent? Because usually it's the highest number that you're paying in terms of your pay.
70 or 80%.
Right. So immediately you're going in and you're giving a person, you said a $6 an hour raise. Was she making
Yeah.
30 at the time or 25?
She was making like 19 or $20 an hour, I
All right,
think.
so $20 an hour, a $6 an hour raise is how much percent, right?
Yeah, it's significant,
Yeah,
25% probably.
it's more than 25. 25% is $5, right? That's one
Yeah,
fourth. So it's almost a 30% raise. It's
yeah.
20, 27 and a half, 28%. That's so when you're going in and you're looking at these are my expenses, you're doing what I'm going to say is almost counterintuitive, which is I'm immediately going to raise my costs. And you
Yeah,
haven't done anything on your income side yet. You're not even sure what your income side is going to be.
correct. But my costs to me were irrelevant at the time because I didn't have money anyways, right? I'm working off of the little bit of working capital that I had and in a dream, basically, right? All right, I'm already making no money and have no money. I might as well at least get to where I want my team to be. And it's going to make no difference to me whether I'm a little broke or a lot of broke. I'm broke.
But true to your word and true to your core value, which is this is going to be my number one priority, you did it, right? You walked
Yes.
the walk. You just didn't talk the talk. You walked the walk at what most people would say a scary time, right?
Yeah.
And then so that was number two was the money. What was the first thing?
So for them, it was satisfaction in the job that I had talked about earlier. I
You
wanted them
think that's
to,
coming now. So what do you do then? Okay, you deliver on your promise to pay them appropriately, right? So you've already established what I say I'm going to do. So credibility is up. And that would, I think, certainly help raise the trust factor.
yeah.
Okay. So, what are some of the other things that you've done in the very early, let's call it the first 6 months to a year? What did you do to continue to build that trust and that valued relationship?
So I had a conversation with them very early on about what my leadership style was going to be. And I told them it was going to be a little bit of an experiment because I don't think that there's many dentists that do it this way, but this is the way I'm going to do it. And what that is, going back to my time in the military, you can't really micromanage people.
Doesn't
So
work.
say you get into a worst case scenario where you're in a combat situation, right? You're clearing a house, you're whatever it may be. I can't physically tell all of those guys what to do during that process. So at some point, the leadership shuts off and the trust turns on, right? I trust that these people have been trained well. I trust that they know their role. I trust that they know their job. And I trust that when we leave this house, we're going to all be together and the mission will be accomplished. So I treat my office the same way. And I was very transparent about it. I told them, I'm never going to really tell you what to do. I'm just going to tell you what I want done, right?
Mhm.
How you get there, how you do it, how you collaborate. I don't care at all as long as you're doing the right thing. Don't ever cut a corner. Don't ever be shady. Don't ever lie to me. Don't ever lie to a patient. That's the only rules I have. Past that, do what you want to do. It's your workday. It's your office. Just get the job done. Get it done better than satisfactory, and life is good. Micromanaging is a downfall, but I feel like in dentistry, it's a huge downfall. And it's something that if I could stress to, and it's tough to give advice, right? Because I've been doing this for 13 minutes, right? It's hard to give advice.
But it is
If
it.
I could give advice,
Yeah.
my number one advice would be number one, just step back. If you can't trust your team to do the right thing, and granted, this is not easy advice because it's tough to find people today, but if your staff isn't doing the right thing or getting the job done, period, they're not the right person. And micromanaging that is not going to help. It's only going to make it worse. And in my short experience, dentists are they're a little bit of micromanagers.
So let's go back a step because you had initially set up the purchase and you were talking to the practice at home, and then that kind of fell through. How and when did that happen? I would assume you're graduating, you're staying in touch with the guy,
Yep.
going to the residency. At what point did you say this is not going to work out?
Christmas of 23. So it's about to turn 24, and I have 6 months left in my residency. I went out to lunch. My wife, myself, our daughter, and him and his wife went out for lunch. And we sat there in front of everybody, talked about the practice, wrote down two numbers. One was the number for the practice, one was the number for the building.
So you were buying the real estate, yes?
Yep. And it's unofficial, but I'm a man's man when it comes to a handshake. Or if I tell you I'm going to do something, you can bet your bottom dollar it's getting done. That's how I always operate. You can screw me if you want, but it's not going to affect me. It's only going to affect you type situation.
Listen,
So
man, you're a Marine. Don't mess with Marines. I'll tell you that right now, man.
we sign our names in front of our wives, shake our hands, and we go on about our business. So those numbers were 603. Don't quote me on the second number, but I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it's 350. So 950 in total.
So about $1 million. That's for
About
both.
$1 million.
So was that your numbers or was that his numbers or were you compatible? Which one?
That's what we came together on.
So you guys agreed on that.
Yeah. Yep. Which was higher than
So
the
how does
going
this fall
rate.
apart? So how does it fall apart? You agree on it?
Yeah. So about 2 months later, he sends
Oh,
me the
you're
letter
getting
of it,
close.
or no, not even a month. Sorry, that lunch that I just described happened late summer. So August, September area.
Okay, so you're in your residency for a month or two. All right, okay.
Yep.
Different for me,
Yep.
different frame of mind. If
Yep.
it's January, man, it's the meat is cooking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's late summer. Now December rolls around and he sends me the initial letter of intent. And on the letter of intent, the practice price is like 750 and the building is $500,000, which in our area, $500,000 is you could buy the mall, right? You're
Yeah,
not
but
just,
back up. You went from $1 million to 1.25. You got a 25% increase
yeah,
unilaterally.
it was significant.
That's
So
bullshit.
I agree. So
That's
I
face to
immediately
face,
call him
man
on
to
the,
man, eyeball to eyeball. And now what is it? Is it an email or a letter? It's not a conversation. He just sends it to you.
he just sends me the letter of
Yeah.
intent with those numbers on it.
Chicken shit. Sorry.
Yeah. So I immediately call him on the phone. What's going on?
Yeah.
And he's getting a little pissy with me, which I'm already not liking. And I just bought a CT scanner. I just had to upgrade the computers. I'm retiring. Who's paying for that? I'm not paying for that. And I'm like, all due respect, I didn't ask for that. Okay.
Right.
I would have picked my own computers. I would have picked my own financing agreement. We agreed on a number. It's
And
not
no
my
brokers
fault.
involved. This is man to man, no broker.
No, this is just us, just him and I.
All right.
And I'm like, that's not my problem. We agreed on a number and it is what it is, right? And then I immediately backtrack and I said, look, if I like the computer system that you got and it's what I would have bought, I'm happy to work with you on that and maybe split it or something because I would have had to have upgraded the computers anyways. And he's, what do you want from me? I was like, I just want you to stick to what we agreed on. And after some rumbling and grumbling, he's all right, fine. It's the numbers that we agreed on. And then but he was still stuck on the building. He thought this building's worth a $500,000. And when we initially started conversations, he was going to hold the note on the building. Then he backtracks on that and says, I wouldn't loan anybody money for a building. I'm like, you're not loaning me anything. You're just playing the bank. I don't pay you. You take your building back. He just couldn't wrap his head around this concept that we had already agreed on.
This is going to fall apart pretty fast if you ask me.
So we finally get back in line on the numbers. And my wife and I didn't have our first kid until we were 34, I think.
Okay.
She's 3. Yeah, so 35, 36. We wanted to have another kid. We had a terrible time with our first kid, trying to get her to have a kid. So we wanted to do it again. And the only stipulation that I had, not even a stipulation, a request that I had for him was, look, if we are able to have another kid, I would just like you to work for 6 weeks so I can be off to be with my wife. And he's, are you fucking kidding me? 6 weeks for a kid? I didn't take a vacation for my first 10 years in practice. And I hung up on him. So, like, immediately I hung up on him. So in my head, I'm thinking, he always talks about his strained relationship with his kids. Then he makes that comment. He's already been shady. I'm handing somebody a lot of money. I'm handing somebody $1 million.
Right.
I need to like you if I'm giving you that much money. He pretty much lost me at that point.
Yeah.
So I immediately went out and started looking at other practices. And very quickly, I found another practice, the practice that I bought. And him and his wife were just phenomenal people and so much more in line with how my wife and I are. We went out to eat with them several times, went to a barbecue. I fell in love with these people and I wanted to buy his practice.
How do you find the practice, number one? How do you find it? What are you doing?
Just went online and searched for practices in the area.
So the brokers are involved? Are you looking at brokers? Where's the listing that you find?
So this was through a broker, but I had nothing to do with the broker. It was the seller's broker.
Okay, so seller's broker, and he's not dual representation, right?
No,
Okay.
I represented myself.
Do you have an attorney? Do you have an accountant at this point? Or are you doing most of this on your own?
I have an attorney, another shit show. So I hire an attorney for the original practice. He did up my LOI, he did my LLCs, this and that.
Yeah.
Pretty high-end law firm in our area. And he just ghosts me during the process of my second practice. Just ghosts me. Like literally stops returning messages, stops calling. He was my wife's attorney for her practice.
Remember,
let me throw in another.
You said a high-end practice. Go ahead.
Yeah. So let me throw another little fun curveball for you. My wife and I both bought practices in the same month.
But was she pregnant too at the same? What is that in there?
No, my daughter was 2 when we bought our practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just throw one more thing.
Yeah. So we're both going through this at the same time.
Sure.
And
so this guy's he's double dipping, man. He's doing both.
Yeah. So he ghosts me and I have to find a new attorney. The deal that went through almost didn't end up going through because of the attorney. We were at the purchase agreement. I was at my deadline for signing the purchase agreement. It was not a good situation. So I had to go out and find a new attorney just based off of recommendations from luckily people I trust. And he was a great attorney. Unfortunately, he passed away from cancer recently, but so it all worked out.
But you did stick and you made sure you did because the uncommon wisdom would be, well, just go ahead and sign it and then have the attorney look at it later because you don't want to lose the deal. You didn't. You kept the cart behind the horse. Again, as hard as it was.
It helps that the seller was a great guy. He's, look, I don't care about these attorneys. You're telling me man to man, you're buying this practice. We'll deal with the attorneys later.
Was he sticking around? Was he part of his plan to stick around for a period or no?
No. So my practice is like brand new. It's gorgeous. And he had just remodeled it. He was going to work for another 6 years and then found out that he had a bad form of leukemia. And that's what forced him into retirement. So I told him, look, I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire on any transition stuff. Just if I need you, please answer your phone. And I've seen him maybe once in the past year. He was there for only a couple of weeks doing the meet and greet, and then I was off to the races on my own.
So what did it look like? What did the practice look like when you were buying it? Comparing the two, let's just say gross numbers. Was there higher gross in the first practice versus the second?
Almost the exact same.
Almost the same. Was the net close, like what they were taking home?
No, the first practice net would have probably been a little bit better.
A little bit better. Okay.
Yeah.
The first practice had a little more ground. You said this was a newer practice that you were buying, right?
Yeah, so he had just dumped a bunch of money into this practice, so it was expected that the net would be a little bit lower.
What did the practice look like in terms of its philosophy of care and its handling of insurance and outside?
So it's 85% fee for service. It only participated with Blue Cross Blue Shield because that is the main insurance of a lot of employers in Geneva. And I kept that. I didn't drop Blue Cross Blue Shield. I didn't want to be that guy. Come in, hey, I don't accept your insurance anymore. It's just not a good look, in my opinion. As much as I didn't want to participate with insurance, I said, screw it. This will be better for the patients and it'll be better for the practice if I just do it. And if I don't like it after a while, then once people know me, they trust me, maybe they like me, maybe they won't mind so much paying a little bit out of pocket for dentistry.
So you want to go in, right? Not only are you making your staff and your relationship with your staff, but you want patients the same thing. So you're keeping things the same because you're doing it all yourself.
Yeah.
So that to me, that makes a lot of sense. And the fact that it's a very manageable number in the grand scheme of things,
Yeah.
it leaves you a lot of flexibility. So when you decide to pull the cord or rip the Band-Aid off, you do that.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
you do it from a position of a little more knowledge and a little more power and a lot better foundation base within your practice, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's never a bad time to do it, but there are bad times to do it. Let me take that back. But there's a lot of good times, and the planning part is the mentally setting the mindset to do it. So you want to share what the practice looked like?
Financially? Sure. So his production was like right around 800,000 on for a 3-year average was right around 800,000
How many days did you
in
work?
4 days,
3.5 or 4 full days?
4 full days. Yeah.
Okay.
And he was seeing patients from 8 a.m. to actually 9 a.m. So hygiene starts at 8. We start at 9. We're there, but we're
Sure.
not seeing patients until 9. And his last patients that he saw was at 4:30 p.m.
So basically you're working 9 to 5-ish
Yeah.
with an hour for lunch. You taking a 1 to 2 lunch or 12 to 1?
1 to 2.
Smart.
Which a little bit of advice for anyone out there listening, that's the best way to do it.
Smart. Because everybody else is closed 12 to 1, but you're open.
Yeah. Not only that, I see 2 patients in the afternoon and I go home.
It does shorten the day
Pretty
for you.
nice. Yeah,
Think about it, right? Somebody, they want to come on their lunch hour. We got lunch hour hours.
for sure.
That's
Yep.
smart. That's a good thing.
And
That's
then,
what we do.
so do you want to know where it's at now?
No, so just give a little bit more because when you're looking at it and diving in, do you want to share what you paid for the practice?
600 for the practice and 300 for the building.
So you're going back to the numbers that you had with the other guy.
Pretty much the exact same, yeah.
This is incredible. It's incredible. And that's just a coincidence, right? That's just how it worked out, right?
Yep.
Okay. So let me hit one question on the building. With buying the building, was there an independent broker evaluation of the, independent evaluation of the real estate value?
Nope.
Nobody did the bank because did you borrow money from the bank to buy the building?
Nope, he financed it.
So he financed it. Okay, so
Yep.
you don't need that. All right.
So I probably overpaid by about 50 or 60,000 for the building, but I honestly I didn't care.
Listen, $50,000 for your own independence for over 10 years. What does
What's
that
that?
equal? A couple coffee creams a day.
Yeah, for sure. And I could have maybe fought it a little bit, but at the end of the day, it was a beautiful building
Yep.
in the best possible location for a dental practice. And I
Right.
like the guy. So I
Now,
wanted
is
to
the
go.
building good for now and good for later? In other words, is expandable capabilities? You have
Yep.
enough room to grow in.
Very, very big lot, almost an acre lot. And the building's 1,800 square foot, so tons of room to add on.
Plenty of parking?
Oh, yeah. I think I
Okay,
have
so
13
and you
parking
can add
spots.
on. So in terms of the zoning and stuff, you can.
Yep.
How many ops did you buy? 5?
4. 2 for
4?
me, 2 for hygiene.
Are there other rooms piped and plumbed to go or no?
No.
So 4 total, excuse me. 2 for you,
4
2 for
total.
me, right?
Yep.
Okay. So how long have you been there?
11 months to the day.
What's your income trajectory? How's that going?
Really good. I ran January to May, and his January to May was right around 340-ish, call it, in production up to that point. Mine was 485.
485. So 140 on top of 340. It's almost a 33% growth.
Yeah.
It's about a third. That's awesome. What are you seeing and what do you attribute it to? Is it treatment planning? Is it new patient flow? Is the word is out? There's a new guy in town? talk about how that's happening.
So I get a lot of referrals from patients. The new phone system that I bought automatically sends out reviews, which I think has been huge. I have 177 5-star reviews,
Who are
zero
you
four
dealing with? Wade?
star.
Who you work with? Weave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not recommending or not recommending them. That's just who I am
No,
using.
but it's having a system that's capable of doing that.
Yeah.
And it integrates with your software. What's your practice management software?
EagleSoft.
Eagle.
It
And the
kind of
two integrate or
integrates.
they don't, right?
Yeah, it integrates.
Right. Let me tell you, if you go cloud-based, say goodbye to integration
Yeah. No, I'm never going
on
cloud-based.
almost every level. I'm telling you, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, I don't ever plan on doing that.
Okay, so new patient numbers up from
Yeah, I probably see anywhere between 1 to 5 new patients a week.
okay. All right, so advice to another person who's in their residency program, they're not sure they want to buy. Did you look at going into working for corporate? What other options did you look at?
Being an associate was a non-starter for me.
So there's no way you were going to go work, even with a transition of a year where a guy's going to go out.
No. For me, it was a non-starter.
So you were starting with your hand on the ignition and on the keys, right?
Yep.
I love it, man. I love it. That's just moxie.
And if I couldn't do it, then I was going to do per diem stuff where it was still my show, but somebody was running me, but I was never going to go in and be an associate.
So do you know what you need to bring in a day to just make ends meet?
Yeah.
What's
That
that?
number is right around 3,500.
3,500 a day.
Yep. But that also includes, do you want me to tell you like what I pay myself?
And you can share whatever you like,
Okay,
sure.
I'm a transparent person. If somebody hears how much money I am making in my first year and I can help them in any way, I'm happy to. And
Sure.
if somebody hears what I'm making and they say that shit, please help me out. That's why I'm transparent, right? So I pay myself on the books $250,000 a year. That 3,500 covers all of my expenses, but that also includes paying me. So if times were tough, I could not pay myself.
So in that 250, do you have a definite number of days that you're working, definite number of days you're taking off?
No, I
No.
don't take time off right now.
No, of course you can't. Now, when you started, did you really watch that number real closely? Like, or was it you're always in the black a little bit each day?
Yeah, I watched it hourly. It
But did you
was
buy the accounts receivable?
no, no.
So you start out, if people are coming in and they're paying on old bills, you're the pass-through, right pocket, left pocket, here you go.
Yeah, the most amount of money I made in one day was not even my money.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
how did you work it out? You had a like a little bit of working capital loan that helped bridge some of this?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see, a
Not a
lot of
lot.
people don't take enough of the working capital because if you think about it, if there's a 30 or 60-day cycle because you're collecting from insurance, et cetera, and that insurance is paying on work that he did 3 months ago, 2 months ago, whatever it is, you're a check writing service.
Yeah, for sure. My first 2 months in practice, excuse me, I regretted buying the practice.
Yeah.
My assistant was making 100% more money than I was making. I just
What was
it
your first
was
day you felt profitable? How long were you in it when you started to say, this is the first day my head's above water? You
so
remember?
I have a dead zero for my business account, which is $50,000. And that $50,000 would cover me for 2 months if things went sideways. I know it should be more, but right now I'm happy with that. So the first day I felt like I had money was when I hit that theoretic zero, or when I got past that theoretic
You remember
zero.
the day?
I do. It was,
I know you do. That's why I'm
yeah,
asking.
it was like right before Halloween. We're almost at basically 2 months. I went from I'm broke, is this the right idea, to holy shit, I have money.
When did you officially start in the practice? September 1st?
August 16th.
August 16th.
Yep.
So you finish your residency July 1st.
Yep.
You don't have all the stuff worked out and ready to go until August 16th, right? That's a solid 6 weeks.
Yep.
Well, what's going on through your mind through that 6 weeks? You got to be sweating a little bit.
Yeah, I almost backed out of the deal twice. Once because the hygienist quit before I took over, and that made me super nervous because they're very hard to find. Another time just because I felt like I was getting a little bit of cold feet driving to Geneva every day. Yeah, it
So
was,
you don't live in Geneva. You commute?
yeah, I drive an hour to work each way every day.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been in some stressful situations in my life, as you could probably determine from my bio. And that month of July was one of the worst months of my life.
Because you know what? The safety nets are all gone. All your life's plans now are right there and your hands on. I always say, listen, your hands on the flusher. If you're going down the toilet, I would rather be my hand than somebody else's.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what you're looking at. And now, with all your life experiences, which are far bigger and far greater, by the way, thank you, of course, for all you've done for our country. And now here's where you finally get to do what you said your lifelong dream was to do and do it your way. And uh-oh, you have an uh-oh moment, and that's normal.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's normal.
The best analogy I have in my personal life is, so I got my pilot's license when I was an undergrad, and flying with an instructor, you feel so good. You feel so confident. Jesus, I'm the best pilot there is out there. Because you got this guy right next to you that can grab the controls. And then the first time I soloed, I remember pushing the throttle and thinking, this is it, I'm dead. Right. I was confident that I was going to be okay, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking, I don't have anyone next to me. If something goes wrong, I'm screwed. And then in residency, man, I'm a shit hot resident. I'm a good dentist because I got this guy 10 feet away that I can ask any question that I want. And then all of a sudden, I'm the only person in that office that can make the decisions. And the first thing I thought of was this was like my first solo flight. It was fine until the guy got out of the passenger seat.
Safety
The
net's gone,
same,
man.
it was the same thing with dentistry. It's exactly right. That safety net was gone. There's no
Gone.
one to ask a question to.
Now, do you have a circle of people that you can talk to? You got like
Not really.
you need it. Trust me, you need it.
I don't doubt that I need it, but I don't know how to say this without ruffling feathers. I get around a group of dentists for too long and I start thinking, wonder what it's like on the couch. And
But
I don't
no,
want
you
anyone to
know
take
what I
that the
mean.
wrong way. I don't want anyone to take
No,
that the
no,
wrong
you
way.
know,
It
I
gets to
know
a point.
exactly what you mean. I've been doing this a little bit longer, but I know exactly what you mean. But I do think, just for your own, so when you have those moments, someone that you look up to, that you can hit up and just vent or send a note, hey, came across this, what do you think?
Yeah.
Just to
So
bounce it.
clinically, I do have that. My residency director, Joe Rumfola, who I'm sure I shoot him a message or call him
Yeah.
it used to be regularly. And then some of my oral surgery faculty that I love and respect, I'll holler at them if I have something going on. So I do have people that I can sneak out and try to call quick if I really need to, but I
But a
don't
lot
have
of
anyone that
times,
I'm collaborating with on a I
yeah,
basis,
but a lot of times it's not clinical, right? It's patient management type things. The patient's upset about this. Did I handle this? How do you handle this scenario? How do you handle this little bump in the road? Those are the things that I find that I'll hit up a couple of really good friends and hey, this came across today. What do you think of this scenario?
Yeah,
And just kind of just bounce some ideas off them and get their feedback because I respect how they've lived their life, how they practice their art, those kind of things.
for sure.
And still, it's still your call in the end, but it's nice to have just a couple ears and a couple mouths just to bounce things off of.
Yeah. I make some, they're not the best decisions from a business standpoint, but I'm the type of guy, like you're talking about patient management or people unhappy. I'm a people pleaser, but I'm not a pushover. I can give you an example. I had sent out a pre-auth to an insurance that I don't even participate with. I sent out a pre-auth for an implant and they said that they would cover half of the implant. I placed the implant and the insurance company screws the patient.
Yep.
So I just ate it. Your insurance company told you one thing. I did this procedure with that knowledge. I don't think it's fair that you pay me my full fee, so I'm just going to eat what the insurance was going to pay. I had a piece of paper in front of me that said the insurance was going to pay it, and I just didn't have it in my heart to take all of that patient's money. And people call in upset about a bill or, oh, why did this fluoride cost $50? No problem. Call it $30. Oh, that's so nice. I just, the money to me is second. It truly is. I'm not trying to sound like a cornball, but you make people happy, you treat people right, and you're going to be booked out 3 months, which is where I'm at. And it's a great feeling, but it's also a little stressful being that far booked out right now.
Now you
But
get
I
a
just
different.
treat people right. And I truly mean that. You treat people right. You take care of them with some money here and there, throw them a free x-ray here and there. And that goes so far.
That's a fact. And we got a young practicing dentist who is way knowledgeable and way more savvy than any man should be at this point in time.
I appreciate that.
It's true. I mean, it's what I absolutely love that comes through loud and clear is you are comfortable in your own skin, and I'm just glad to know you, man. I'm glad happy to call you friend, and if you need anything from me ever, I'm a text away, man.
I appreciate it. I don't want to tell you who to have on your podcast, but I feel like we got to do a second part so we can dive into the practice management of this, and I can pick your brain a little bit too.
We definitely need to. I appreciate your candor and sharing with all the things you're sharing with.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll plan on part 2. So hey, AJ, man, thanks a million.
I appreciate it.
All right, brother.
All right.
See ya.
This has been a production of Dentistry in General Radio Network. Visit our website, dentistryingeneral.com, to join engaging clinical and business conversations, explore our dental podcasts, and stay updated on our upcoming live events.